$35 trillion in debt. Things are crumbling all around us. You see them corrupted officials in Washington, what they've done? That's over $1 billion a day just in interest. These people are off the hook. They don't even balance a budget anymore. They quit that over a decade ago. There ought to be a law into place. Put a budget back into place. They got a rolling funding resolution going on. Anytime some idiot creates some type of reason to get money, they just add to it and add to it and add to it. We're way over budgeted on all the things they got out there. We got to roll back the budget. We got to minimize spending in all the areas. They're completely overboard. This is ridiculous. And if you remember our founding fathers, when Jefferson wrote to Madison, they specifically stated that one generation should not pass its troubles on or debts to the next generation. That's exactly what they're doing here. We're passing debt on to our children, our grandchildren, our great-grandchildren. The founding fathers knew this was happening. It happened to them. So they designed a plan called a balance of your budget. That was the whole idea of it all in the first place. And the reason they keep an open funding resolution. They'll get the lazy people out of bed and get back over there. Like say something comes up, emergency. So they got to convene a meeting. They all got to go back to Washington, gather back together, put together this Emergency Fund Act, when you do need it. And now it's just blow it out of proportion. Now it's just anytime anybody wants to do anything, they automatically, boom, there it goes. They made it easier, in other words, for everybody and anybody up there to just go ahead and spend. That's ridiculous. We got to put the laws back into place. You got to go back to the old way of doing things. This is ridiculous. There's too much spending. That's why inflation, that's why everything's blown out. That's why it's hard for all the American people. The middle class is suffering because of the way they're running Washington. Got to put an end to this corruption. Time to drain the swamp. And remember this when you go to the polls and start voting next time. That's right. And not only that, we used to invest 2% of our GDP, our gross domestic product, back in to our nation for jobs, economy, companies, products, innovation. Now we invest less than 1% GDP. Our nation continues to decline and deteriorate. They are ruining our country. For the last 50 years, we used to be in first place in innovation and building. The people back in the 34, they set our country up for all of us for years to come. Then the 40s and 50s came right after World Wars. They started tearing it all down. They destroyed us. Completely irresponsible. We got to put the legislative laws back into place and rebuild our country. We went from first to ninth, and we're falling fast. And not only that, China went from 8th to 2nd, and they have their eyes on first place. They are leading the global economic economy right now. They're in charge because of Washington's leaders. We're not leading anymore. We are an economy of consumption and destruction. We need to go to an economy of construction and production. Time to drain the swamp. Remember that. Until next time.